Welcome to our senior curriculum for 2022. Unfortunately, we can't have it in person, but we're going to be doing it online for you. If you have any questions after this, seeing it online, please don't hesitate to email or call the college. To start with, we will acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and the elders from other communities who may be here today. So very quickly, I'm going to give you an outline of what senior college is all about from year 10, 11 and to year 12, including VCE and VCAL. Stevie Martin, who's the leading teacher of curriculum assessment and reporting, will then talk to you in more detail about what subjects your child may choose to get into the pathway of their choice. Senior staff will very quickly go through the principal, Michael Ritchie, myself, who is the assistant principal of senior college. There's a leading teacher of engagement and wellbeing of senior college, Ms. Sonia Atide. The leading teacher of curriculum assessment and reporting, Stevie Martin, who will speak to you in a minute. Year level leaders for year 11, 12 and 10, Mr. Demerol, Ms. Kazal and Mr. Hosking. And the learning area leader for VCAL is Ms. Emily Pratt. All these people are available to contact if you've got any queries. Before we go on, the most important thing about going to senior college is that your child understands what they want to do when they leave school. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but there's a good, actually more chance of engagement if they know what they want to do in regards to whether it's VCE or VCAL subject if they want to go into a trade. Usually students know by about year 9 and 10 if they want to take the VCE route or the VCAL route. Disengagement happens when your child is not in the right course for them. So what happens in year 11 is that you do 6 unit 1-2 subjects, introduction to the subject, and then you have 5 unit 1-2 subjects and 1-3-4 subject. If your child wants to do a 3-4 subject, it is incredibly important that they know what they want to do and in regards to how much work there is going to be. Exceptional circumstances, I would recommend a 3-4 subject. Otherwise, I just recommend 6 unit 1-2 subjects. There is a lot of work for all of them. Year 12, they then drop to 5 unit 3-4 subjects. This is all for a scored VCE. That means that you get an 8-er, or your child gets an 8-er. That means that they are eligible to get into university on the scoring scale of VCE. If your child or you want your child to do an unscored VCE, we haven't put it in the presentation here, you must come and have a meeting with us. They still get a satisfactory and unsatisfactory for VCE, but they will not get an 8-er to get them into university. The reason we're doing all this is to make sure your child goes onto the path that best suits them. In saying that, they can change their mind. It doesn't matter too much if they get through VCE in year 11 and say, oh, this is just way too hard, I need to go to VCAL. We'll have an academic meeting and with the pathways manager organise a pathway for them. With VCAL, this is the Victorian Certificate of Applied Learning. This is changing in a couple of years, but nothing to be worried about yet. We'll deal with that in more detail next year. But basically, you've got 4 units: literacy, numeracy, PDS and WRS. PDS is your personal development, your WRS is your work-related skills. So basically, what the government wants you to do is they want you to be able to read and write, they want you to be able to count properly and do your math properly. It's not hard, it's basic skills. They want you to understand how you operate or how your child operates and how they're going to operate in the big wide world. And work-related skills are things like certificates and health and safety rules and things like that. It's not an incredibly hard course, but it's an important course, and it's important for your child to do all the work that is required. We often get students in VCAL who think, oh, well, this is the second class citizen of year 12. It's not, it's very important. It holds a very good pathway for your child or for the students, but you still have to do the work. You still get ranked in the scores. I'll go back a little bit on that. You still get a competent or a non-competent. and they have to have competent for all their outcomes to be able to get their certificate. All right, SACS. In regards to SACS, it's changed a little bit from SACS being the last part of assessment at Wallen Secondary College to being the first part of assessment, and that's in line with the rest of the state. So SAC is a school assessed coursework. It is a test. It is a mini exam, and there's a reason why we want a lot of emphasis put on SACs. Is because one, the children sitting year 11 and 12 subjects, or unit 1 to 4 subjects, have to retain knowledge. They have to learn to remember the content, and it's especially important at the end of year 12 when they have to regurgitate a whole lot of content at the end of the year. SACs help them do that. They help them sit in examination type settings, so they understand no talking, no using notes, no calculators unless it's required, all that sort of thing. So they get used to the examination system. An unsuccessful SAC will mean they will have to sit a redemption, and a redemption means they will sit a test that is very similar to the one they just sat. Won't be the same, it'll be similar. And what the teacher is looking for is understanding of the subject. If they fail that again, red flags go up. Coordinators and myself will go, well, maybe this is not the subject for them, maybe this is not the course for them, let's have a look what's going on. If they fail the redemption, the teacher needs to look then at their coursework and their bookwork and maybe even question them to see if they understand the content. If we don't do this part, then your child is not set up for your final exams at the end of their year 12 year. And that would be doing them a complete disservice. We did it the other way around and took no notice of SACs. It all becomes based on coursework, and that is just too vague for us to get an idea of where your child is at, and it doesn't give your child any practice. They do contribute to a percentage of the final study score. You have to be an amazing mathematician to be able to work out how they do the ATAR. If you would like all those breakdowns, let me know and I'll give them to you. All results are moderated by examination score. At the end of the day, the examination is the most important thing. However, SACs do count. And any absence from a SAC will require a medical certificate. And that is very, very important because VCAR, who is the embodying agency over this, will not accept just absence because they were too tired or they had to go to work or they had their PE exam or their learner's exam or anything like that. It needs to be a genuine medical reason. Now, this year, 2021, has been a bit of a blast for the GAT. This is a general ability test. And this is given, you may have heard the AGAT, and the AGAT is given to younger students. General ability. It covers a lot of subjects. So we've got written communication, mathematics, science, technology, humanities, the arts and social science. So if your child is weak at technology but good at humanities, it will even itself out. It's giving the government body a general idea of your child's ability. And what happens, and especially this year when the GAT has been postponed, and it looks like it's not going to happen, it might, but it might not. It's claimed as your child's insurance policy, so there should be another comma there. If something happens at the end of the year, if, God forbid your child falls ill and can't sit the exams, the GAT mark will be used instead of the VCE exam result. So it's something to fall back on. It also gives the students a really good opportunity to practice these exams again because it's completed under examination conditions. All right, assessment with VCE, SACs, examinations and coursework. I should be able to go to any student's book and at the top of the page it is the 18th of March, they are learning algebra and these are the notes. I should then be able to go to another book and at the top of the page or as a heading it is analysing reading, the 22nd of June and these are the notes. And there's a big difference between coursework and doing your study notes, but the students will learn that at the beginning of next year. All these things are as important as anything else. If you don't do your coursework, if you don't do the SACs, you won't be able to do the examinations. So every single thing is important. With VCAL, it is just as important. Coursework, work placement, and your TAFE placement, or wherever they go, their traineeship. Coursework is really important. And a lot of VCAL students think, oh, well, it's only VCAL. I really like going out to the beauty salon on a Thursday, and I can't be bothered doing coursework. You don't do the coursework, you don't tick off the outcomes, you don't get your VCAL certificate. If you don't turn up to TAFE placement on a Friday, you don't get your certificate. And all those years of study and work be down the drain. You don't want that. So in the last couple of years, we set up a Year 12 retreat. Started this year. We went out for a day, but we had all the activities at school. Hopefully next year we'll have all the Year 12s coming out together because we want to work as a cohort, and hopefully COVID will have gone by then. It's offered to all VCAL and VCE students. If we do study skills, it's just as important for VCAL as it is for VCE students. We have study tips, we have Elevate. You would have heard of Elevate over the last couple of years with your child, and Ticking Minds. Ticking Minds is the most amazing company who provides lectures and tips, mainly in English, but in other subjects as well. Subject lectures, academic support, outdoor activities, team building, and it's held at the beginning of the year. I think it's about week 3 for next year. Really important. You might do a study session in the morning. For example, we might do a whole analysis of a film that we're doing in Year 12. And the English teachers will take it. In the afternoon you'll go out together and do canoeing, or you might do high ropes and team building and things like that. Have dinner together, and in the evening you might have games, or you might have small group discussion about the movie that was seen in the morning. Very, very important and really beneficial to every student. For preparation of subject selection, and Stevie's going to take over from now, it's incredibly important that you give a lot of thought to what you want to do. It should be enjoyment, but it also should be, I'm going to be able to see this subject through. It also might be that you have never thought of woodworking, or you've never thought of forensic science, and I'll give it a go. But there's a couple of things that we've learned in the last couple of years. If you choose a subject, or your child chooses a subject, it is incredibly important for them to stick it through for the entire duration of the subject, whether it be a semester or a year. Show resilience and get through that subject. If there are problems that are happening, if your child is finding, say, physics too hard, contact the year level leader immediately. Because we don't know what we don't know. We just find out at a test time or a SAC time where they've failed it. And then we find out that they've been struggling for 6 weeks and having anxiety attacks about it, and we could have stepped in and done something. So it's incredibly important that when you are selecting subjects, or your child is selecting a subject, they've attended the Taster Day, which is new this year. They've had a look at what subjects offer. You've gone through the handbooks and had a look at what is on offer, and we've increased the choice at Wallen Secondary College, which is great. Discuss the subject choices with parents and carers. Don't just go with your friends. Oh, I'm going to be upset if there's nobody in my class. This is your senior education leading into the pathway of your career. And attend a subject selection interview next week, next Wednesday, to submit your subject selection forms. It's not final. We put all the data together. We have a look at people. We talk to staff. We talk to students. We have to make sure that the process is that if a class is less than 10, it is not viable financially, and that goes for any school. That's a government school or an independent school. And I'm not going to do all the breakdown of costs. If the class is less than 5, it's not academically viable. So it's not like one-on-one tutoring. If you've only got 4 or 5 in your class, there's not enough scope in that class for your child to progress the way they need to. And a lot of research has been done on that. At this school, we would like the classes not to go less than 10. Your child might not get in a class because of budget restraints, because of low numbers, because we can't find a teacher. And you know, those are real possibilities. So there's always preferences for classes. There is an option at the beginning of term, or every term, to change elective in year 10. Subject choice in year 11 and 12 is a little bit different. You can sort of see us at any time, but it's preferred in the first 2 weeks of a semester. But you have to give us really good reasons of why you're going to be changing, and it might not happen. The class might be full, the class there might be too many moving and the class is cancelled, but there'll be a genuine reason, or it could be in a different block, a genuine reason why you're not able to change. But we discourage changing because of friendships. So consideration of a subject, what do I see myself doing in the future? Doesn't mean you have to stick by it. It means you have to give it good consideration. You are young adults and you can make this decision. What subjects am I good at and I enjoy doing? Yes, you can stretch yourself, absolutely. But if you haven't done physics, sorry, I'm going on a little bit. If you haven't done physics from year 7 to 9 and you think, oh, that's a really good idea to do, it's probably not a good idea to start in Unit 1 or, I wouldn't let you start in 3 anyway, but Unit 1, if you're not good at math. If you're not good at math, you're not going to be good at physics, hands down. So that sort of thing. In year 10, Ms. Martin and the staff have put together, all the learning area leaders have put together a lot more electives to give you a taste of subjects. So you're not going to just put down chemistry without having a really good experience of it. Which subjects are prerequisite studies for tertiary and TAFE courses? Somebody said to me the other day, I want to be a nurse. Well, that's great, that's admirable, it's a fantastic career. And she said, but I don't want to do math. Well, you have to do math. So there are some courses where you have to do certain subjects. If you want to go teaching, you have to do math. There are exceptions. If you go to TAFE, they might let you start without a subject in the first year, but then you'll have to build it up and do it in the following years. Ms. Alavaris, who is our careers manager, she's all over this. If you have any questions about this sort of thing, you go and see Ms. Alavaris. Which subjects are recommended studies for tertiary safe courses in which I am interested in? That's different from prerequisite. So prerequisite is you have to have the subject. You cannot go and do medicine with woodworking and textiles. You may enjoy it, you may get a really good mark at it, you may do it in VCE and it's fantastic. However, you will not get into medicine. So you have to be really careful. Recommended is that you do have a choice, but I would always go by the recommendations. All right, one last thing before we go on to Year 10 options is that we've put a lot of work and effort into showing students subjects this year. COVID has held us back. We've had to do things online and on Teams and things like that. However, I'd like you to stress to your child that it is really important to listen to these presentations in a mature manner. Listen to what the teachers are offering you. Look at your options of your subjects. Don't muck around in this situation, in a group situation. This is a very serious process, a very good process, and at the end of the day, it will help and benefit your child greatly. So I'm going to hand you over to Stevie Martin, who will go into the subjects in a lot more detail.
Hi, thanks Julie for passing it across to me. So I just wanted to speak today about the subjects that are on offer to your student at Welland Secondary College. So at Year 11, so our current Year 10s who are moving into the Year 11 VCE scope, you have quite a couple of options available to you. Now English is compulsory, so if you've had a student go through VCE before, you'd know that English is a must. Now at Wallen Secondary College we offer two separate types or strands of English. We have regular English and we also have English literature. So they are the two different types of English that we offer, and again, if you refer to the handbooks, there is a much more detail and an outline of the skills that are needed in both of those strands of English, but one must definitely be chosen. Now to say that a student who loves English may actually choose to do both. So if we definitely have this currently, where we have some students who feel quite passionate about reading, they love film, they love English and that's a strength of theirs, and they choose to undertake both English and English literature. So that is always a possibility for students, but as a minimum, students must at least complete one English. Now, every student who attended Taste Today was given this exact printed out sheet, and will hopefully have brought that sheet home with their thoughts and their plans and everything they took away from the Year 10 Taste Today around what subjects they may want to do in 2022 as a Year 11 student at Wallen Secondary College. So the fantastic thing about VCE, and something I think that our Year 10s still are taking as a little bit of a shock, is that they get open range of subjects. So they may choose any subject that we have on offer, and they don't have to choose a particular subject from each learning area. So in the past they may have had to choose at least one history, at least one humanities, at least one science, at least one health and PE subject, but that's not the case. At VCE, as Julie spoke earlier, it is all about the student pathway, where they see themselves in the future and things that they're interested in, things that they enjoy, and this is their real chance to drill in on those areas and to do their best and to maybe uncover some new talents as well. So in saying that, students, as I said, can choose any subjects. As Julie mentioned, at Year 11 they need to have a total of 6 subjects. So VCE English will be one of those subjects. So they need to choose another 5 subjects on top of English that they will run with for their course. We ask students in their interview to actually pick 2 extra subjects just as backup. So as Julie mentioned, in case a subject doesn't get enough people, or we don't have a teacher, or for any other reason that subject doesn't run, we'll refer to those backup reserve subjects as the secondary subjects for that student. So in arts, students are more than welcome to go and study media, studio, viscom, drama as well. At health and PE, we offer health and human development and physical education, and then our humanities strands, business, history, legal, geography, and sociology as well at Year 11, which is very exciting because that's a new subject that we're currently teaching at Year 10, and we're really excited to hopefully see that blossom into VCE Year 11 as well. Now, with our maths strands, and I know Julie mentioned before that maths can be quite an important one, especially for prerequisites, so it is important that students check perhaps future courses that they want to do, such as teaching, engineering, nursing, any of those subjects that do require a maths, biomedicine in particular as well. So we offer 3 different maths options at Year 11. So at Year 11, foundation maths does run. However, the thing to remember with foundation maths is that it finishes at the end of Year 11. There isn't a Year 12 pathway for foundation maths. So if you want your student to have a basic foundation understanding of numeracy and of maths, then they're more than welcome to undertake foundation maths, but they will not see that through into Year 12. It comes to a stop there. And the issue with the stop at the end of foundation maths is that that student won't have the necessary information or knowledge to be able to transfer to Year 12 further maths. They won't have the foundations or the building blocks there to be able to make that move across. So foundation maths is fine if you want to do maths in Year 11, but you're not interested in maths at all at Year 12. If you are thinking that maths is important, something you want to keep as an open door, which is also a really important concept to think about, general maths at Year 11 is our middle stream of maths, and we also offer mathematical methods. So some of our Year 10 current students who have been in the advanced maths class and they've thrived in that environment and enjoyed it, they may choose to go on and do mathematical methods at Year 11 and then follow that through into Year 12. Otherwise, most students will tend to take the course of general maths in year 11, which has a flow on into further maths at year 12, and that's our middle stream of maths. So they are our maths subjects on offer at year 11. As I said, please make sure you check any prerequisites that are required. In regards to science as a VCE subject, you may choose biology, chemistry, environmental science, physics, or psychology. And again, you may have a student who is passionate about science who wants to study more than one. So we have some students here that may be studying chemistry and physics because that's something they're really interested in. Or we have some students who really love the environment, who are doing environmental science and biology. Students who are passionate about health, they want to do biology and HHD or health and human development. So there are some subjects that really complement each other, and feel free to reach out, speak to your teachers, speak to anyone that Julie's mentioned before about what some of those complementary subjects may be. In regards to technology, at year 11 and VCE, we offer computing, which obviously is very important in a 21st century world. We offer food studies, textiles design material, so that's students looking at hard woods, metals, plastics, any type of construction of furniture, any kind of material that they may build. And then we offer product designing textiles as well. So obviously those two product design subjects are different. One is materials, one is textiles. And finally, we do offer a vet subject which is an in-house taught vet subject. Here we offer vet music, which is available as vet music industry and vet music production. So there's the technical and the performance side of it as well. So they are the subjects that are on offer at year 11 if you have a student who is currently in year 10. Now our year 10 subjects on offer in 2022, so our current year 9s, it does get a little bit more restricting because they don't have the free agency to just pick any subjects they want. So there are some requirements that they need to follow at year 10. So English, as I mentioned, is always compulsory. So there's no need and there's no strands for English at year 10. There's just the one English that we offer. So every student will be completing that English, and that won't be a necessary selection that they need to make. In regards to maths, just going to jump down to the maths section. We offer two different strands of maths at year 10. So we offer general maths and we offer advanced maths. So as I mentioned before, they must choose at least one maths to complete at year 10. If students are completing general maths, they're setting that course to follow into general maths in year 11 and 12. But the issue will be they won't have the foundation at year 10 general to step into methods. So again, if you know that your year 9 student is quite advanced in maths, maths is something they're very passionate about, they're working at level, they're working above level, and they're really excelling in that area, advanced maths would be the course for them. That would be a course that would leave their door open to be able to step into methods in year 11 and methods in year 12. In regards to humanities, in the first semester of humanities, we complete a core humanities. So students touch on all four strands of the humanities in that semester. They get a little bit of a taste of everything. Come half year, the students get a choice. So they may have really enjoyed civics and citizenship in the first semester, and they realise that they really want to continue on that path of laws and rules and constitutions, and that's something they are really interested in. So they would then go on to choose an elective, which would be the Introduction to Legal Studies. So the Hoons, Guns and Lawyers unit. Students in the first semester may have loved history, and again at year 10 as an elective they may go on to choose 20th century history, which is our Introduction to Modern. So it's really important that students in the first semester are really trying to gauge what interests them. They all have to cover the strands, so it's really important they start to think about what it is that this year, as a year 9 student, they were interested in. When they were studying year 9, were they interested in when they got to study war? Were they interested in looking at landscapes and volcanoes? That's going to be really important when they go to select their elective for next year. So they need to select one humanities elective, which will take place in semester 2. Only one. We will ask though that you select a 2 and 3 as a backup as we mentioned before, in case classes fill or we may not have the class run or there may not be space or whatever other issues some tend to come up. So choosing first as our number 1 elective and then a 2 and a 3 just to make sure that there are backup reserves available. In science, at Year 10, students actually get to start thinking about what science they've enjoyed in Year 7, 8 and 9. So similar to humanities, they may have really loved learning about astronomy or learning about force and pull and gravity, and they may then decide that they want to choose to go down the physics path. Or they may have learned that they really want to get in and look at the psychological brain and the mind of people, and they may choose to go psychology. Students are going to select 2 science subjects. One they complete in the first half of the year, the second they complete in the second half of the year. So they will need to number 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to make sure we have backup subjects for science, again, just in case the subject doesn't run. So with our science, it's really important that subjects are preferenced from 1 to 4, just to make sure that we have a scope to look at what your student is interested in if their subject doesn't run. At the Year 10 Health and PE, we offer 4 Health and PE subjects at Year 10. So at Year 10 we have analysis of activity and we have sports science, and these are our practical subjects. So if your student is interested in fitness and fitness circuits and gyms and workouts and all those things, sports science is the subject for them. If they're interested in games and activities and actual group sport, analysis of activity is the subject for them. If your student is not someone who's interested in any of those practical subjects, and they find that most PE classes they prefer to sit out and they prefer to listen to the theory subjects and learn about health, then we offer adolescent health at Year 10. So in the second semester, students will choose 1 elective to complete. First half of the year, every student completes what we call core PE. It's a taster of health and PE that every Year 10 student has the same experience of. However, come semester 2, the second half of the year, they will break off into an elective. We also are offering for the first time outdoor education at Year 10. So that will be involved with obviously those students who love to get outdoors, they love camping, they love being active in the outdoor environment. That would be the perfect subject for them. Now, outdoor education does come with a $300 fee that does need to be paid at the beginning of the year. So if a student is interested in outdoor education, to be a part or of enrolment in that class, they would need to pay the $300 because it is involved with excursions and incursions and possible camps. So there is a cost that comes with outdoor education. Now finally, students are required to choose an arts and technology suite. So in arts and technology, some subjects run for a semester or some run for a full year. So based on that, we give them a point system. So if a subject is only a half year, so it happens only for 6 months of the year, we give that a 1-point system. If a subject happens the entire year and the student will be enrolled in that course for the entire school year, they have a 2-point system. Now Year 10 students need to make sure they choose 4 points worth of art and technology subjects. So saying that if a student was to decide they wanted to do music at Year 10, that would be 2 of their 4 points. They may then go and do another 2-point subject, or they may choose to do 2 1-point subjects. So when we are completing the point system, we need to make sure at Year 10 they are choosing 4 points worth of subjects in art and technology. Now I know we've had some students who ask us in the past already that, do I have to do a science at Year 10? Do I have to do a humanities? Yes. So as I mentioned, VCE, we take away those restrictions, but at Year 10, part of the government body says we still need to make sure that students are experiencing those subjects before they get to VCE. So all students must complete a maths, they must complete English, they must complete humanities, science, health and PE, as well as some forms of art or technology. So I guess at Year 10, the most important thing is that we get a scope of more options. We get to start to narrow down to what parts of science we're interested in, what parts of humanities we're interested in, what parts of art and technology we've been interested in over the last 3 years. So at 7, 8 and 9, what art and technology subjects did I enjoy? This is the important point. I just want to reiterate what Julie mentioned. Is I guess the really important thing here is just to have these open, honest conversations with your student. Question them about their past 3 years. What things, subjects have really stood out to them? Not because of the teacher, not because of the friends that were in the class, but because of the things they learned. The things they're really interested in, things that they were enjoying, things they were motivated to go away and find out more about. They're the type of subjects that will help the student to make sure they have a successful year at Year 10. If there is any other questions in regards to subjects on offer at Year 10 or at Year 11, please don't hesitate to call the college or get in contact. Thank you.